Ladies and gentlemen, I just watched Thunderbolts last night, and let me tell you, your brother had a time. Y'all might be wondering, what's up with the new scenery? What's going on? Bro, I'm making breakfast. Today, on today's menu, we making some eggs, strawberry banana, and peanut butter smoothie. Y'all might be wondering, what's wrong with you? Why are you putting peanut butter in your smoothie?
Because I'm a freak and I like that.
But for those of y'all that don't know, Thunderbolts is a new Marvel movie about a lot of unfortunate anti-villains from the universe that end up crossing paths and they form a team. And throughout their journey, instead of running away from their past, they start to take it head on. And we see these characters try to redeem themselves from doing unredeemable things in the past. Now, a lot of people would say, I've already seen this movie, Suicide Squad. I like Margot Robbie, why would I watch this? But when I tell you, boy, this movie was surprisingly like good plot wise. Like it was low key deep. You know, hold on. Let me hit you. Let me go back to my room, bro. Hold on. Let me hit you with this transit.
You see how I did the little Dragon Ball transit? You know. Alright, before I really get into all my thoughts, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. The movie, all the reviews have been saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing since Avengers Endgame. This is the best thing since sliced bread. This is amazing." It's a pretty good movie. This is not the best thing since Avengers Endgame. I don't know who said that, but he was lying. I'm not even hating on the movie when I said this movie is really like probably the best MCU movie I've seen in a while. Like I would put this movie right behind Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because in my opinion, that's probably the best movie that's come out in this later phase of Marvel. It's Guardians, Thunderbolts. See, I want to put Spider-Man top 2, if not number 1, but low-key Spider-Man story, Spider-Man No Way Home, the story doesn't make sense. It makes sense, but like when you really think about it, don't you know how the villains were sent back right to where they were dragged out of their own universe? So if that's true and they'll get put right back into that same exact moment, all that stuff that you did in the movie was pointless because they're just gonna die anyway. You see what I'm saying? But bro, I'm getting way off topic. I could talk about Marvel stuff all day. But Thunderbolts, I did not expect Thunderbolts to be a movie dealing with trauma. It talks about how a lot of people kind of bury their feelings deep down inside of them, like ignore their trauma, just push to the side. But really, that's not going to help anybody. That's not healthy because eventually all of it's going to come back up and it's going to be ugly. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, I think you should go see it. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Like, I'm about to get into spoilers now, so hey, if you ain't seen the movie, if you care about spoilers, hey, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and then just leave. All right. One of the main things this movie really tackles is redemption. And while watching the beginning of the movie, you see these anti-heroes and you're like, do these like people even deserve a second chance? All the main characters have done really bad things in their life, whether that be Yelena just killing people just because somebody told her to, Ghost and her daddy issues, even though she wasn't really a villain, but you know, John Walker killing a man in broad daylight with the Captain America shield, which is still insane because he still doesn't see himself in the wrong for that. Alexei, aka Red Guardian, sending his imaginary daughters to be enslaved by a military basically. And of course Bucky's not really the bad guy out of all these guys. He's not really a bad guy because when you think about it, he was under mind control, he had no choice. But honestly, Bucky has probably done the most damage as Winter Soldier. But as the movie goes on, you can see that these people really aren't bad people. They've just handed the worst circumstances possible and they're just victims of that. Once we learn more about everyone throughout the movie, you can see that they all deep down really want to be better people than they are. They're low-key suicidal throughout the movie because they're ashamed of all the things that they've done. Like there were multiple times in the movie where they were about to die and they were just like that one meme with the dog. Bro, they just accepted it. People that still want to live don't do stuff like that, bro. They'll be panicking. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. They were like very at peace with it. Yelena was the main character in the movie and she was really searching for purpose in what she does. She was tired of just being a gun for hire, tired of not doing anything positive for the world. She wanted to feel fulfilled. Alexei wants to be a hero like he once was. He still wants to be some sort of Captain America. He wants to be appreciated and loved. John Walker still walks around like a tough guy with a tough guy persona, like he's a perfect soldier, but at the end of the day, he's just a man that misses everything that he once had. He misses being Captain America. He misses his wife. He misses his kid. Now with Ghost is really just there. I don't really know what she was there for. There were no like motivations that she was really just there because she was an anti-hero in the past. But anywho, one thing I will say that's a negative about the movie, but I wouldn't even say it's a huge negative. Bucky, he's kind of just like conveniently there. Like it makes sense why he went after the Thunderbolts, but for him to stay, like, I don't know. It's just really weird because he's not trying to redeem himself because he really hasn't done anything bad. I mean, his body has, but not him. But he's kind of the glue that puts these people together because he kind of can relate to them, and he's on the other side of coming back from the sins that he's committed, I guess, in his alter ego or whatever. But I really like how this movie kind of tells the audience, hey, suppressing your emotions is really, really bad. Pushing the emotions away is really just not going to lead to anything positive. And you really see that in this movie because the resolution it isn't resolved until all the characters face their traumas. There was also a quote in this movie that I really liked. I liked it so much, I took my phone out mid-movie and jotted it down so I didn't forget. The woman in this movie that was kind of the antagonist, what was her name? Her name was like Valentina or something. But she said, righteousness without power is just an opinion. That's a baller. What this immediately made me think of is somebody like Captain America. For example, Captain America, a very, very righteous man, probably one of the greatest heroes in the MCU, obviously. He was known for being a righteous man. He was known for wanting what's right for everybody. But when you really look back at like what he's done, other than like saving the world a few times, like he hasn't really made any change with how things are handled in America.
Because say it with me, he doesn't have any power.
Not saying he's not a powerful guy. I mean, he pretty strong or whatever, but like Captain America could not move mountains. Like he wasn't a part of Congress like Bucky. Bucky has more power. I feel like what Val was trying to say was like, yeah, you can be the stand-up citizen, you can be the greatest person ever, but if you don't have the power to achieve what you want to achieve, it's just an opinion at the end of the day. I thought that was kind of like, dang, she kind of spitting right now. I hate her, but she's spitting. And I don't think the Suicide Squad allegations are gonna go away with this movie because Val is literally Viola Davis's character in Peacemaker and Suicide Squad and stuff. She's literally the same character, a little less brutal because she didn't like put plants in their head to kill them when they go off route or anything, but she sends men to kill them when they go off route. It's the same character, kind of. And a lot of y'all might be thinking that we're looking forward to the movie. How did the movie do with Sentry? I'm not gonna lie. Sentry, I have mixed feelings about it, but I really, really like how they did the character. Bob, who is actual Sentry, his name's Robert, but like they just always call him Bob. Like throughout the movie, they probably say Bob at least 200 times. But Bob was just a guy that's been through the wire. He was addicted to drugs, had mommy and daddy issues. He's just been through a lot. He signed up for this program to give him more powers to be larger than life. And he does get powers and stuff, but of course when he loses it with his emotions, he turns into the Void, which is the guy that turns people into shadows. By the way, that power I saw online, I don't know how true it is, but I have to look it up to make sure it's true. I'm pretty sure it is though. The people that made this movie, they said one of the things that inspired how they're doing his powers, the Void's powers when he's turning people into shadows, that was inspired by the Hiroshima bombings. That's kind of crazy, but game is game. That's kind of cold. But when it comes to Sentry, I usually don't like when superhero movies like conclude with the heroes talking down the villain. Like for example, the last Captain America movie, that was the ending to that. I don't approve. But here it works so well because you don't really see Bob as a villain. You don't see him as a bad guy. You see him as a guy that's just been through a lot. It seems like he's really just looking for belonging. He wants to feel welcome and appreciated by others, which is why he sides with Val so easily because she was manipulating him. She was trying to make him sound like, I believe in you, I love you. Like all it really took for him was hearing her say, I believe in you. And I think that was enough for him because he's just a broken person. It wasn't corny at the end with him really getting talked down because even at the beginning of the movie, Yelena was trying to protect him. She was trying to embrace him. John Walker was still being an idiot in the corner, but at the end of the day, they treated him pretty well. They protected him. They kept him alive. Well, tried to keep him alive until he decided to sacrifice himself. But in his eyes, when he did that and the Thunderbolts didn't come back for him, he felt abandoned, which is another reason why he was probably so quick to be manipulated from Val. Then when he also realizes Val's not really for him because she had a kill switch for him, that's when the Void comes out. And it all makes sense within the story. So I'm not really mad at how everything happened with the villain. Oh, and how could I even mention Sentry without mentioning that one fight scene? Bro, if there's one thing that I could really wish that was better about this movie, I wanted to see more Sentry fight scenes, not the Void, because the Void didn't really fight nobody. He was just killing people or sending people to the Void. But bro, that one fight scene with Sentry versus the Thunderbolts, bro, that is the best ass whooping I've seen in a while because yo, it wasn't even really a fight. They was trying to fight, but like yo, Sentry was just dog walking them and he was doing it in like such a crazy manner. It's crazy to think that Steven Yeun was gonna be Sentry at first and then like scheduling conflicts happened because I can't imagine anybody else in this role because bro, Louis Pullman did his big thing with this character because yo, it was really, really good. But even the other fight scenes in the movie, I think my favorite one probably was the one in the beginning with Yelena Yelena, Florence Pugh also carried this movie. Her and Louis Pullman did, bro. They were the best parts of this movie in my opinion. The fight scene at the beginning when she jumped off the building, infiltrated the place, and then they did a hallway scene, Daredevil style, low key, but like a sky shot of the hallway, and all you could really see was her. Like it was like a top down view and you could see everybody's shadows just getting whooped. Oh my god, it was so amazing. It looked beautiful. Now another thing I saw a lot of people wondering before this movie came out, is this really old Marvel? Does this really feel like an old Marvel movie? And I'll say, yeah, it kind of does. I'm not going to say it feels like Avengers or anything. Well, actually, it low-key does. It does kind of feel like modern day suicidal Avengers that shouldn't be the Avengers. But the humor, the first like 20-30 minutes of the movie, I was like, the humor not hitting for me. But as the movie goes on, it's a lot more fluid. Stuff is funny. People in my theater were laughing at like all the jokes throughout the movie. But me personally, the ones at the beginning were just like, like I need to see where this is kind of going. But it does feel like the older MCU, as in this is a very, very human story. This isn't a story about how the president turns into the Hulk or how to stop Kang the Conqueror and MODOK with ants. It's a story about how to deal with your issues and how to become a better person even when you feel like you don't deserve the chance of becoming a better person. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is towards the end when Yelena was talking to her father, Alexei.
And she said, I feel so alone, Daddy. Pause.
She was talking about how ever since her sister died, she feels like she's not fulfilled. She's like, you haven't even talked to me since she died. It's been a whole year. Where have you been? I have no one. I have no one to go home to. All I do is work, kill, repeat. Like, I'm tired of it. I don't know what I'm doing this for. And he kind of reassured her that you have me. I'm sorry. I can be better. I'll try to be better. But to me, I still see the little girl in you that used to play goalie in soccer because she wanted to be the one that people rely on when they mess up. And I was like,
that was kind of adorable.
I feel really bad for Natasha Romanoff because she was never done this much justice as a character. Yelena already is probably a better Black Widow than the original Black Widow, and that's not even knocking Scarlett Johansson because she's an amazing actor. I just feel like Marvel was not worried about anything else with her other than sexualizing Black Widow because it's kind of what Black Widow is. But yeah, the story was very human. The humor wasn't forced like it was in older MCU films. Like one of the things I was wondering when I saw trailers, it's like, where's that chicken come from? Because there's a chicken that shows up in the trailers that they're fighting. In the context of the movie, it makes sense because they're going through Bob's memories. And he was like, I'm sorry, I was high off meth. And he was attacking people in a chicken costume with like a sign outside. It was so stupid, but it was funny. It was random. And also, this has nothing to do with the humor of the movie, but the Marvel logo, which wasn't at the beginning of Captain America, it showed up at the beginning of this movie. And I was like, oh my God, they're showing comic panels again. They're showing comic panels instead of movie scenes, like within the logo. And then like as the song kind of faded away, the logo turned all black like the void in the movie. I thought that was a little creative. I like that. That's just a small thing that most people probably wouldn't pay attention to, but I was like, looks very, very like the Void's powers. Another funny thing in the movie, Bucky has a tradition in everything he's been in. He hates plans. He never has a plan for anything. He kept that tradition going in this movie. Like Alexei was like, hey, do we have a plan with what we're about to do? And Bucky was like,
oh shit, a plan? That didn't even cross my mind.
Now let's talk about the most exciting part for the future of the MCU in the movie, the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene was crazy, and it also kind of, I haven't told y'all my theory, but my theory for the Fantastic Four movie, I've been saying it to my friends a lot. Based on the trailers, I think their planet is either going to get eaten or destroyed. It's going to end up gone in some aspect. I really think so. And I don't know how many crazy villains they fought in their universe, but I don't think they're going to survive. The people on their planet, I don't think any of them are going to be around anymore, which is how I think they'll come to the MCU. They'll either be looking for a new place to call home, or they'll be warning them that, hey, more stuff is coming. They destroyed our planet, we're trying to help you. But it was really cool seeing the Thunderbolts kind of become the new Avengers, even though low-key, with Bucky, I didn't really like how after they kind of let Val do all that stuff at the press conference, I feel like it would make more sense for Bucky to just snatch her away from there. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I don't care if we're on national TV. You're not doing this. But I guess that would lead to a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I guess. But she needed to go to jail. That was kind of Bucky's motivation throughout the movie, was to get her caught up. But at the end, he kind of just stood there like,
oh my God, cameras, bright lights.
But I do like how she kind of made it slick. Like, she was like, oh my God, no, just chill, give me a chance. And then on the other side of the curtains was the paparazzi and her revealing that, hey, this new team, you guys don't know, but they're trying to kill me. They're the new Avengers. But all their looks in that post-credit scene, I really, really liked. I didn't like Ghost's hairstyle, but I'm just gonna ignore that. Bucky, at first I was like, he kind of looks stupid, but then I got some more looks at it and I was like, actually, this fit is low-key fire. And it's also inspired by his Thunderbolts fit in the comics, and one of the Thunderbolts comics. I'm gonna put a picture up right now so you can see it. But Bucky, he kind of looked dripped out, bruh. And also, it was really slick how they did the whole even title of the Thunderbolts movie. But they had the little symbol like that was a work in progress name, like Thunderbolts. Like, why do you have an asterisk next to it or whatever? And then you realize that it's because that is a work in progress name. They're the new Avengers now, which was kind of slick. Even though their name wasn't actually the Thunderbolts, Alexi was the only person that actually called them that. And it was because Yelena's old soccer team. But still, I thought that was really slick how they did that. And this might be a hot take. I might like this dynamic between this group of characters more than I like the dynamic between the original Avengers. The original Avengers, I feel like it was very different. Like, this new group really feels like a family, and I feel like that's because they were all brought together by circumstance. They weren't forced together like the Avengers were because the world needed it. It was more like we're all messed up. We all ended up in the same place. We all want the same thing, so we might as well stick together. And then that dynamic is really fresh. I like it. It's a nice take. The old Avengers kind of felt like co-workers that didn't always agree because, I mean, it was world-ending problems they were handling all the time. A few of them were really close, but as a team, it didn't really feel like a family like this does. And that's just from one movie. I might be gassing it. Y'all let me know if y'all agree, but that's just me. And the whole point of the Void in the movie, oh my gosh, not the actual guy, the place he was sending people. First of all, when he sent that little girl after Alexi saved her, I was like, oh, he's crazy. This is insane. The little girl, bro, everybody in my theater gasped. We was like, no, not little Rebecca. Like, yo. But how they explain it, nobody can actually die in the Void, but they have to relive their worst memories. So in the Void, you can't be killed, but the pain will just get worse and worse and worse. And I feel like that's slick because your suppressed emotions, if you don't acknowledge them and face them head on, the pain is going to get worse. And I feel like that scene when Yelena walked into the Void is very reminiscent of the scene from the beginning when she walked off the building, because her walking off the building in the beginning is her kind of talking about how she feels, but she's not really acknowledging her pain and her grief and her trauma. But that contrasts the scene at the end with her walking into the Void, but that's kind of her being like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to accept this. I'm going to face my trauma head on and I'm going to get past it. And that's really the only way to get past it is acknowledging it. But yeah, the Thunderbolts, as y'all can see, I really enjoyed the movie. I feel like anybody that has liked the MCU at any given point in time, they should watch this movie. You should probably watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier before, just so you know who John Walker is. But really, I don't think you have to have seen that stuff to enjoy this movie. It just feels better when you know where he's coming from. You should probably see Black Widow too. You should probably see Ant-Man and the Wasp from way back, but all those films are not necessary homework. It's still a good movie that stands on its own. And bro, it's so contained too. Where's Spider-Man? I'll never see Spider-Man, but you know what? We're not gonna get in Spider-Man's case because Sony. Fuck you, Sony. But the movie was great. Y'all should definitely try the movie if you haven't already. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments if y'all really enjoyed the movie. If y'all kind of like when I talk about Marvel movies, I think I'm gonna start a whole playlist on the channel. Let me know if y'all like these videos and if you want me to talk about a different movie that's come out in the past or what I think about new movies coming out, because the future of the MCU is looking good so far. It's really looking good. That Fantastic Four movie, boy, it's gonna be gas. But hey, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.